Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the co owner and creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the fearful avoidant attachment style and how fearful avoidance can really struggle when it comes to feeling rejected, and how sometimes feeling rejected goes hand in hand with betrayal. And then we'll talk about how the fearful avoidant then proceeds to cope. So, first and foremost, I think it's really important to recognize that, like, similar to the dismissive avoidant, the stage that a fearful avoidant is in of a relationship, it does affect how they experience rejection. So, for example, fearful avoidants are pretty good at meeting a good part of their own needs. In a lot of ways, fearful avoidants don't meet their needs in the healthiest way possible. So, for example, they may need to like feel peace of mind, and they may meet the need for peace of mind through like escapism, through like just watching television or like avoiding their feelings or going on social media or whatever, or sometimes more destructive habits, right? But but they do feel that they can soothe through themselves in some form the vast majority of the time. That doesn't mean they don't have the anxious side. It just means that they can feel the anxious side and eventually over time return to their more avoidant side and self-soothe through different activities or distractions. Um, and so here's the interesting part. So what that basically means is rejection has the capacity to hurt slightly less than somebody who doesn't have the capacity to soothe on their own, right? Because then if somebody outside of you rejects you, it's very scary because you have nowhere to soothe, you have nowhere to connect to feel okay. So there's a bigger sort of like threat that comes in the early stage of a relationship if you don't have some kind of capacity to regulate on your own in whatever form that might be. So from there, what this means is in the earlier phases, in the dating phase, if somebody's just in the honeymoon phase, if you're just getting to know a new friend, if there's a family member, whatever it might be, whoever makes you feel rejected or whoever rejects you in a situation in some form, you might be okay if you're fearful avoidant. You might hurt for a little bit, but then you can go into that like sort of closed down mode. The interesting thing is later on in a relationship, rejection can be something more detrimental as a fearful avoidant. The reason is fearful avoidants have a tremendously powerful set of needs for depth of connection, for transparency, and for basically just like emotional connection, which sort of goes hand in hand with depth of connection. The reason fearful avoidants go after these big needs a lot of the time, and there are many other ones too that fearful avoidants have, but these are just three like primary ones that do tend to attract fearful avoidants, reel them in, keep them there, is so the reason for this is that because if you're a child and you grow up in this like home that's super unpredictable and you always have to be hyper vigilant and read between the lines, if somebody's really attuned to you, if somebody is like really sharing with you and bonding with you, and if they're open and transparent, it makes you feel safe. Because fearful ones don't have an attachment strategy. Like DAs learn to just self-soothe, anxious preoccupied learn to soothe through others. Fearful avoidants can't really predict. They're like, one day I can soothe through my caregivers, other days they're unpredictable, they're angry, they're fighting, they're drinking, they're drugging, whatever it might be. So fearful wouldn't just go into this hypervigilant mode. Transparency, openness, a lot of emotional bonding makes them feel like, okay, I can predict the situation better. So with that, you have these three big behavioral drivers for the fearful avoidant. And then what can take place is the fearful avoidant can get into a dynamic where they want to soothe through this person, right? They want to like be able to connect there. But if that person rejects them, when they've trusted them, they've built this emotional connection, this bond, and those needs are taken away, it also makes the fearful avoidant feel unsafe because they go, oh my goodness, I thought we were on the same page here with this bond. And what happens when a fearful avoidant feels unsafe or betrayed, which again triggers the belief for I am unsafe, they tend to shut down and they can go very cold. And that very extreme cold reaction is actually a subconscious strategy for protection. Sometimes people will say, oh, my FAX or whoever it might be, they really shut down after a breakup. It was out of spite. Fearful avoidants can be spiteful, but when they shut down, they tend to shut down. And I mean, like they go really cold. They tend to shut down and have a lot of difficulty opening back up because they associate, if they've been betrayed or they've been made to feel unsafe by somebody, they associate, okay, I'm out for myself. I know what it feels like to feel unsafe. I can't trust. I can't even go back there. Why would I bother going back there if I don't have that trust? Why would I invest in something where I can't trust, I can't predict? Because being able to predict is their survival strategy. When that's threatened or that's taken away, they can shut down and not come back online. And so what can happen is if they feel rejected, they feel like those really important, powerful things, emotional connection, closeness, if they feel like those things are rejected, then guess what happens next? They shut down and they have a lot of difficulty feeling like they can come back online. And because they go, that's rejected. And now I've been betrayed by you because you were supposed to honor and value that emotional connection. Now that I'm betrayed, I can't trust. I feel unsafe. Now I have to go into survival protection mode. And it really has not much to do with spite at all at that point when it's in that sort of more severe context. Now, that's over more severe rejections. That's not over like somebody forgets to call you back and things like that. But that is something that can reach a certain degree for fearful avoidance, depending on the type of rejection that happens and all the context of the experience it relates to. So I thought that was really important to note. I may do like a separate video just about that, like why fearful avoidance can shut down so strongly in a different way than other attachment styles, and why they can like really go cold to a more profound degree, even though it happens less often than a dismissive avoidant, for example. If you do want to do a deep dive into like reprogramming, really working through fears of rejection, social anxiety, belief reprogramming, needs work, as you keep hearing me talk about needs more often lately, you can do a deep dive in discover, embrace, and fulfill your personal needs on the PDS website. The course about your advanced needs, which is all about how to communicate, receive your needs, reprogram your fears around expressing needs or asking for your needs to be met, learn to see your needs through, understand what they are. And then obviously our overcoming rejection and social anxiety course, which all basically has to do with belief reprogramming tools and getting to the root of the 9 different core causes we really struggle with rejection and then working through reprogramming each. So feel free to check that out. Thank you for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.